Well, thank you for coming on the round table, Miss Rachel.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Can you let uh, us know a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm 53. I started acting at 46. I've been married for 30, oh my gosh, 32 years. Keep forgetting, right? 32 years. I have two daughters. One is 31, the other's going to be 27 soon. And
That's
she lives
awesome.
in New York, and my other daughter lives by me in Charlotte. I do reside in Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina. I used to live there.
Oh, you did? How fun. Where
Yeah.
exactly?
I would say in about 2007, I
And
lived there, and it's definitely a beautiful state, especially when you're flying in
it
and
is.
all those green trees and just it's beautiful
Aw,
there.
that's so great. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, we do like it here. We've lived in Charlotte for 20 years, New York for 18. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So at 18, I left Pittsburgh, lived in New York or yeah, for just as long. And yeah, we've been here for 20 years. I might be off on the exact number of years, but anyway, something like that. Something like that.
Time passes too quickly.
Right? I
Yes,
know.
it does.
It all kind of blends together. Anyway,
Mhm.
so
Um, my first question for you, I'm sorry, is what attracted you to begin your acting career?
actually, I kind of fell into it. It was funny because, well, as a teenager, I was a model. And whenever my youngest daughter was old enough to drive and work and didn't need me as much anymore, and um, I decided to see if I could do some middle age modeling. And I started meeting other actors when I joined a local agency here. You kind of cross paths with actors, models on like commercial sets. And so I got to meet some actors, and I kind of started to, you kind of uh, go over the line of acting and modeling at
Mhm.
times, what one would consider such on like commercial sets, as I said. So getting to know some of them, and they became friends, and a couple asked me to be in a film, and kind of it just developed into where I loved it. And so I would say whenever I did a short film, I loved the whole experience, and I decided to join an acting class, and I remained there 5 years every week. I just knew I needed to learn. I knew there was a lot to learn. You actually never stop learning, but I got into a class immediately, and I loved it. And that's what I knew I wanted to do. I wanted to pursue. I wanted to hone my craft, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah,
So
when it comes to acting, and I know that you're absolutely correct. You know, you get into acting class, and this is what really starts to develop and hone your skills. Those who are listening and getting to know you, what was the best part about you being in acting class? And when did you finally start making a significant difference? What I mean, as far as in your confidence to act.
yeah, that is something that progressed over time, but I could say that I came out of my shell. You
Mhm.
definitely have to, your your fear would have to go away, and just getting up and getting in front of people and all of that, which you might not have a lot of experience doing until you get into a class like that. And a lot of the rejection that comes with the field itself, I think, just like over time, you learn that it's not all about you. It's
Mhm.
not all because of you. There's a lot of factors involved. Whenever you go out for jobs, or you go up for work, or you audition for things. And I think like you just get comfortable with the fact that we're all artists. We're all trying our best. We're all learning our craft. We're all growing, you keep growing. And it's something that over time you realize that you got, how do I want to say, tougher.
Yeah.
Tougher with
Hmm.
having to go through all that comes with the field itself. You know, all the rejection, all the times you're turned down, all the times you audition, you don't hear back, all that in the beginning is very new. And you're like, oh, what's going on? Like, what am I doing wrong? It's not that. And yes, in the beginning, there's a lot to learn and there could be a lot of different reasons. But as you grow, there's a lot of rejection that comes along with it. So I would say that learning to be confident, in who you are and in what you bring to the table, and not everything is for you, and
Mhm.
realizing that that would be impossible. So therefore, what is for you will land in your lap, and
Yes.
you just have to keep doing the work, and you have to keep putting yourself out there, and you have to keep taking chances on yourself, taking chances and submitting. Every day I submit for tons of, I get up in the morning and I start looking all over, from casting networks to Actors Access to Backstage to maybe different film sites that I might be on, social media, all different things to submit to. So you're always putting yourself out there, you
Yes.
know, and you're always doing more, um, getting better, getting more comfortable, hopefully getting all your real footage back, hopefully getting
Right.
footage back.
Right.
The
It's so
reel is a work in
valuable.
progress.
Yes, they are.
It's so valuable, especially when you're trying to make that demo reel.
I know. I know. That's why I really it is. And you never know. Like, you don't know what footage you're going to end up getting back. You don't know what the footage is going to look like. You don't know how much of you is actually going to be in the footage that you get
Yeah.
back. So it's great to just get as much back as you possibly can. And the reel is literally a work in progress. You know, it always will be. But I loved about class, as you had asked, and then I rabbit trailed. Sorry. I loved meeting everybody, just meeting other like-minded people who are pursuing the same thing,
Yeah.
meeting other people who are doing just what you're doing and who are in the same position that you're in, to share life with, all different ages, all different walks of life. And we're just all trying to do the same thing and celebrating each other, which is a very nice atmosphere and environment to
Hmm.
be in.
Very
That's
empowering.
very powering. That's so powerful, and what you said is so true. Passion, um, the love that you said, and confidence in this
Yeah.
industry. So
Confidence
everything,
builds. I'm telling you, it
yes,
builds. It
that's
just
true.
builds over time. And then you look back and
Hmm.
say, oh, I'm a lot more confident than I was because
But your message was very powerful, and we appreciate you sharing that, and it means a lot for the audience to be
oh,
tuning in and watching it.
oh, well, thank you for having me on and giving me the opportunity to share.
Very welcome.
Yeah, I think it's so important, having every time we hop on to Zoom and we are sitting here and having the chance to speak with different artists and actors and them sharing their stories, such as yourself, it just gives the next person who may be listening the opportunity not only to just be inspired, but you never know where they are at on their journey.
No,
And
exactly.
hearing yourself or hearing someone else, and it just may help them go, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna try again tomorrow. And that's what's so empowering about us, Riachi and myself, sitting here and interviewing, actors like yourself, because you could do anything you want to at any age.
That's
Okay.
that's what I'm all about. I know that's what I love to make sure people understand, because I was 46 when I started. And you can feel at different parts of life, you can feel like it's too late for you. You can
Hmm.
feel like it's too late for me. I missed the boat. I can't do that anymore. Yes, you can.
Yes, you
It's
can.
never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late, no matter what it is you want to do. Just begin, just start. And sometimes
Mhm.
we get so much bad advice from people around us who might not have had the same type of drive. So it's important to surround yourself with as much um, open-minded people as you can that
Yeah.
will help you, or at least not hinder you on
Yes.
your journey forward.
Hmm.
Very, very
No,
true. Pardon me, I'm sorry.
no,
And
go
it's
ahead.
very true. We can start with any age. Don't
Yeah,
give up on our dream. And that's very important to let our audience know. And like Daryl was saying, this is what our talk show is about, right? To interview inspiring actors and upcoming actors, or people who want to be involved, but also people who want to hear our stories,
yeah,
and especially the guest story, and
yeah,
that's very important because people who may be saying, I didn't know Rachel, got involved in acting, right? And or we didn't know
yeah,
this is what Rachel was doing, but
yeah,
I always tell herself, I always tell people, you know, keep pushing yourself, keep opening the doors in front of you. There's difficult roads ahead of us,
yeah,
and it's not a fun road. I know that. Everybody can talk, everybody can say that who's been on
yeah,
that journey. It's not a fun road, but it also can be a fun road because you meet
Hmm.
people, And
yeah,
yes, you're gonna have moments. It's like you go forward and you may open 10 doors ahead of you. And by the
yeah,
time you get to the 11th door, the door's not opening because you're like, oh no, why is it stopping, right? And you're like, and we haven't, there may not be much acting role for yourself yet. But, and then that's the hard part of the journey. And then later on,
yeah,
the door opens again, you keep going. And that's what I call passion
yeah,
and
Yeah.
courage, and don't give
yeah,
up, because the thing is like, it's courage, right? And I always tell people, and this is more myself as well, and I always tell people, where do you see yourself in 2 years, 5 years, right? And
mm,
you just keep opening the door in front of you and keep going and keep going and keep going,
yeah,
because you don't want to wait later down the road and you have 30 doors behind you that you have to reopen again.
yeah,
You don't want to turn around and open all those 30 doors. And that's why
yeah,
it's very important for us to talk about this.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and also you're right, Rachel, you're so powerful. It doesn't matter, you know, and you start acting, you can correct me, age 46,
mhm,
everybody might be mind blown. It's like, wait, if she did it at what age? 46. Everybody might be thinking, oh, wait, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it. And I think you're sending encouragement. You're really sending encouragement. Just like, this
I
is
hope
this is
so.
this is this is my passion. This is what I want to do, because
Yeah,
we never know what could bring to us. And I think
yeah,
that's the positive about this entertainment industry. I love that
yeah,
we meet people, and like my co-host Daryl said, we meet people with different stories,
mhm,
different the road they've been through, but also
yeah,
different stories at what age they started. And it's so
yeah.
powerful. So thank you for sharing that, Rachel.
Oh, of course. I feel like anything anyone chooses to do, there's going to be rough times ahead. No matter what it is, it's going to be a roller coaster. There's going to be up days, there's going to be down days. And it's very easy on the down days to just stall, give up, stop, but then you fall into a rut that's hard to get out of. So I feel like there's certainly a lot of down days in what I'm pursuing. But it's like in those moments, it's like whether you feel like it or not, you keep going. Keep going means I'm going to submit submit for more jobs, whether I feel like it or not.
Hmm.
Recognize it as a down day. Just
Mm-hmm.
keep going forward, because there have been times that, you'll feel so down and you'll just submit for things, and then you'll get a job. It one day could be so different from the next day.
Hmm.
So it's just, and it could be that way for a lot of different things that people are pursuing. The big thing is that when you go through a down day, you just keep going. Don't fall prey to the feelings that come along with that could kind of get you in a rut. It's very
Yeah.
easy to get into a
Mm-hmm.
rut,
That's true.
but just keep moving forward, whether you feel it or not. And in acting, if that means just do stuff to either book a headshot session or work on your reel or upload new things to Actors Access or submit for things, submit for anything that you can. That's doing all the moving that you can do. Get
Hmm.
together with another actor friend, talk about things. That's moving. That's keeping that moving. You know what I mean? Just always do something, even when you don't feel like it, because then you know you're going to come out of it and you're going to come into an easier time, ahead. It's just the momentum, just keep going. But
Yeah.
Very good.
I wanted to share with you that when I lived in North Carolina
mhm.
was the very first time that I went on a audition.
Oh,
And so I drove from Charlotte to Garuth, Georgia.
okay.
And that's when I did my audition. And of course, I absolutely knew nothing. And
Oh,
so I wasn't that disappointed, but going into the future, quite some time, I wake up, I tell my wife, hey, I think I'm going to try that acting again. And it's always been right here in my
yeah,
heart.
yeah,
But, you know, I mean, my wife knows anytime I have some idea that I want to do
yeah,
or that I'm wanting to accomplish, I always run it by her, whether it's at 2 o'clock in the morning, it may be at some weird time, and but
yeah.
anyway, I put on my wall, and it's still there today on in 2018 that one day I must be an actor. And it's still on sticky notes on my wall
Oh, wow.
right now.
Oh, that's
That's
so
so
nice.
powerful, Daryl. Thank you for
That
sharing
is,
that.
that is, that really is. And you know what? I was thinking, even as you were talking, even if you were to live in a place, say, that didn't have maybe classes available in the physical to you, there's nowadays so much on Zoom,
Hmm.
so many classes that you could
Hmm.
tap into. Um, uh, there are just so many of them, especially social media brings that out, all of them available. And now with self tapes, as you said, I think what spurred that on is you saying you drove to Atlanta for the audition. Those were what we used to have to do.
Hmm.
I remember having to go pretty far sometimes for one, but now self tapes, that has made things easier for
Yes.
sure. Yeah. I remember when I had to go, it was years ago because we haven't had to recently, but I had to go to New York for an audition, and I had to book a plane flight because I
Hmm.
couldn't drive the 12 hours. It was like, and so the plane flight, cabin to the city, the audition, which lasted relatively small amount of time, back home. And I'm like, boy, one couldn't afford to do that too much.
Right.
That's like, wow. And I had just kind of started. I'm like, oh my. So so I say that to say I think the self tapes are really great. It just enables you to be able to,
Hmm.
yeah, send the tape in all across the country, all different places. Um, so much easier than what things were like. such as going to New York for an audition.
As an actress, who is someone that truly inspires you?
Oh my. Oh my, let me think. Sorry. You know what? Because I don't, I tend to watch more series. I have watched, of course, you watch movies, but I do get into series on
Mhm.
Netflix or different platforms. I do like that. I'm just trying to, oh my, Kate Blanchett. I love Kate Blanchett.
Okay.
I think she's a wonderful actress. I think that, oh, Olivia, her name's Olivia. She's a British actress. There are
Oh,
certain ones.
Olivia, oh, I know who you're
You know
talking
who I'm
about.
talking about. Yeah,
Yes, I know who you're
there's,
talking about. I like her
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Olivia, um, if I
yep.
see her face, I reach you put me on the spot too.
And sometimes that's the problem I'm having. It's the face. Like
Yeah.
I know them. I'm like, oh, she's so good, but I might not know her name
Yeah. No, for
because
me, it's like if you say the name, I know who you're talking about, but I have
yeah,
to see their face, and then I'd be like, okay, that's who you're talking about. But Olivia,
yeah,
I can't think of her last name,
I know,
but
I
if
know.
I see her face,
But honestly, this
I will
is
know.
one of these things where when I get off the call, I'm going to be like, oh, her. Oh, and her. Like, right now I'm like, deer in headlights. I can't think of old ones, but I know that there have been so many that I've watched on things that I thought were just fantastic. And some of them I don't know their name, you know, like
Hmm.
maybe I did at one point and I just forget their name right now. So that would be my bad. I should know this stuff, but right.
Hey, I don't be ashamed. I should know too, but I I don't know either. I have to look it up sometimes.
But I want to say I like Bryan Cranston, male actor,
Yes.
and so I know it's not a female, but yeah, I like Bryan Cranston and Gary Oldman. Really
Okay.
like Gary Oldman. I think he's, yeah, really great. There's a few that stick out to me too, as far as male actors as well. But
What is the latest TV show or TV series that you have been into?
okay. Oh my gosh. The Perfect Couple, the
Okay.
Nicole Kidman one. I just watched that. That was a limited series, about 8 episodes. So I just watched that. And as Cobra Kai comes out, I watch it. And
Yes.
I watch it because I grew up with Karate Kid. That's why I'm just like, oh, I've got to watch these.
Mr.
I can't believe
Miyagi.
they're all back. They're all back. So yeah, I've watched that. But I just, oh, Your Honor was fantastic. Loved Your
Okay.
Honor. Bryan Cranston, whom I mentioned. Yeah, that was great. Better Call Saul. Oh, Breaking Bad. Yeah, now they're all coming out. Yeah. Um, I watched also The Stranger. That's what it was called. It was a limited series.
Oh, The
Um,
Stranger. That was on Netflix, I believe.
yes, that
Hmm.
was that was good. That had me really
Actually,
wrapped.
that was really good.
Yeah, I liked that. And before that, oh, there's several I watched, and now I'm like in a brain fog. I'm forgetting, but I love series. I do gravitate to it. Whenever my husband says, "Do you want to watch a movie?" I'm blank. I'm like, "You pick it." I don't know. I watch series. I'm involved in like this thing. I'm like, "You pick the movie."
Got to have something to come back to the next time, the
Right,
next one
right.
that
It
comes
just
out.
keeps you, yeah,
Yes.
Just something to keep you excited and can't wait for it to come
Hmm.
out the next
right.
week.
Absolutely.
That's true. And what is your favorite genre?
Hmm. I would say I do like mafia related things. I don't want to say just that or anything. I watch a ton of different things. I like a lot of different things, but I'm always interested about like mafia stuff, drama, more like drama. Horror, not so much. I don't really gravitate to that. Um, yeah, I like a good comedy, I love The Office. I like dry comedy. That was so funny. Schitt's Creek, loved it. You know what I mean? That for comedy, but I do like, yeah, I like mafia stuff, something with mafia involved. So Your Honor had the mafia involved, and
Mhm.
it was super interesting. Yeah,
I
that
I
whole
could
dynamic.
definitely see you playing a mafia boss.
No, okay. That's one thing. I want to be a mafia wife. I want to be the wife of the boss or something. Totally. That would be something. Whenever people say, "What do you want to do?" I could never think. And I'm like, you know what? That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's well, yeah, you never know. You could get the row.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, what are you watching? What do you suggest to me that maybe I could watch? Because I'm gonna be needing a new series soon.
Are you talking about on Netflix or
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. Some streaming Prime or Netflix.
Okay. Um, it depends. I mean, I'm into a lot actually.
Are you?
Yeah, horror movie, action.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's a really good question. I have so many right now. Um,
And that's funny too. Like I like action too. Like I love Born. I like a little bit of everything. That's why it's so hard for me to pinpoint sometimes because it's like, well, I liked that and that was totally different from this. And I really like that. So
mhm.
I do watch a lot. I do.
I think I used to watch. I don't know if it's still streaming. The BBC Sherlock Holmes.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just
Um,
like BBC. I like the acting.
I think
Yeah, so good.
I know you can watch it on Hulu.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still doing that. But
Okay.
he was the main character in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was in Sherlock Holmes on BBC. I don't know if
Okay.
he's
I'll
still
listen to that.
doing it. Maybe he is. But I really like him as an actor. But how I- it's kind of strange. I still watch Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
Yes, and then um, yeah, I watch Grey's Anatomy and I watch a lot of police shows. It's kind of
oh,
weird.
police shows.
I like
Yeah.
Chicago PD,
Okay.
911,
Yeah.
um, and Station 19. They film that, and
Okay.
I think they filmed that in Washington.
Yeah.
But uh, yeah, I think yeah, 911 is really good. But movies, the list goes on. I don't know where to start from. I it depends. I like horror movie and I like action movies.
Horror and action. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horror is not bad. It depends what horror. Now, oh,
Yeah.
I know what horror movie I like. It's playing right now, actually 24/7 on TV. Uh, Halloween.
Oh, I
Yes,
I
Michael
grew up
Myers.
with
Yeah, I know
Halloween.
it may not be that not may not be that scary, but I could just sit there and watch all of it with a bag of popcorn. People might be
Halloween was
like,
scary. You know
it,
what it is?
Was.
Because Michael Myers moved slowly.
yeah.
He just moved slow. And for some reason, you could run 50 miles an hour, but he was right behind you. And he was
Hmm.
moving slow. It was
Yeah, I
scarier
mean,
than Jason. It was scarier than Jason.
yeah, it's first when I first okay, be honest, when I first time I watched the Halloween, um, I was so confused. I was like, I don't understand the story of the background of this Michael Myers, right?
Yeah.
And then later on I was watching more of it and I was like, okay, how is this related to this person and this person? Why is he trying to do
Yeah.
this and do this? And then
Yeah.
what's going on? And then the later on I continue watching and still it still comes on. I'd be like, okay, I think I understand the story now. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, now I understand the story. And so that's it. And then I like
Yeah.
World War Z, the zombie movie with Brad Pitt was in it. I wish there was a
Okay. I
second
know
one.
what you're talking about, but I actually haven't seen it.
I recommend it. It's really good.
Okay.
I hope the second one, if they make a second one, I hope it comes out. I really liked it. But other than that, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know. I have so many. It'll probably come to me after this Zoom
uh,
is over.
yeah, right. I forget so many. I know I do. I know when I get off, I'm going to remember things that should have been remembered, and I just went blank. So,
Yeah. How about you, Daryl?
I definitely like NCIS,
uh,
different shows like that. Um, I think the latest movie that we've seen has been Planet of the Apes. That was
uh,
really good.
yeah, I saw that.
The Hand by Studio A24 or
I think I
Production
saw that.
A24. That was
Yeah.
really good. That was more on the scary side.
Okay.
Um, and the other movie that we have recently seen was The Quiet Place.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, I saw that. I like The Quiet Place. I'm trying to th okay, so the hand. I'm never
I didn't see that.
Rachel hasn't
No.
seen either. Daryl, you stumped us. What is the hand about?
Well, it's okay. So in this in this movie, a guy had been killed, but they severed his hand, and when they did, he was basically a witch or a devil worshiper of some sort. And
Oh,
so what they did was they got his hand, and it's literally from here down, and it's bent like this
mm.
from here down. Okay. And so what happens is all these kids at a party, anytime they put their hand on it, it would take them through this spell of some sort and
Oh,
create all these dramatic scenes where they're killing someone, and then when the people at the party would take their hand off of it, they would come back to reality. But you literally have to you have to say certain words to come out of the spell when you're going through it, or it continues once your hand is removed. And so it's a great movie,
dang.
but the biggest thing about this, it started as a short film, okay? And
Oh.
it went to film festivals, and a major production company picked it up, and it exploded.
Oh
Wow.
my, that is so encouraging and interesting because there's
Yes.
so many shorts that are looking for funding for feature. In fact, this coming June, I'm going to be in a feature, and it was a short that won awards.
Yeah.
So
So did
yeah,
this
that's
one.
neat. That's really neat.
And so
That's really cool.
that's usually what happens is like if your short is that fascinating, you know, depending on how the action of the audience, or I don't know exactly how that may go, but yeah, people, you never know who's sitting in the very
Yeah.
place that's watching your short film.
Yeah.
That is very
Anything
powerful, and
can
that's very
happen.
true.
Anything can happen.
That part.
I believe
Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
that is very powerful. Anything can happen. That is so true. And yeah, I need to go check that movie out.
Yeah. Now I'm curious myself.
It's really good. I
I
mean, it's really good. Me and my wife were like, what in the world? Okay. And then
yeah,
whenever I started learning about the backstory, I'm like, this is every filmmaker's dream is to be able to take their short and create a and get it produced by a major production
Yeah.
company
Yeah.
into a bigger
That's the
movie.
dream. That's the
that
dream
is
for
the dream
so
for
many
sure.
people.
That is
Yes.
100% true. That is so powerful and interesting to hear that.
Yeah, it really is.
But you're right. Anything can happen. And so what really fascinates me is like the imagination of a
Yeah.
storyteller,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
because it's like being a dreamer. You know, if you see something that you want to chase in your life and or pursue it, you know, you got to visualize it.
Yes,
And that's what every filmmaker does when they're sitting at home and they get that pen and pad and they start writing. And all, you never know where it may take you and how much it may change your life. But you got to
yes.
start out dreaming and visualizing it first.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And it's really taking a step to put yourself out there. If you put yourself out there, like if you make that film, then something can happen. If
Yes.
it stays in here, if it doesn't come out, if maybe insecurity, maybe just different feels that you're feeling prohibit you from creating and making that, then it's
Yeah.
not out there in the world for something
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
happen with. And even if it's that you learn from it and then you do another and you do another and your skills develop and all that, it's all important. It's
Yes.
all good.
Very
It's
Yeah.
true.
all it's all important in everyone's life to grow in whatever form of art that they're chasing. And you got to just start. I don't write personally. I don't I'm not a writer. A lot of my acting friends do also write. So they'll write shorts. A couple of friends of mine have written features, you know, and we got to see them come to fruition and be filmed. And it's a wonderful process to just be able to put yourself out there and see something come to life.
Yeah.
And yes, and if it's not out there, then nothing can happen. So
Mm-hmm.
I would always encourage everybody to just do what's in your heart,
Mhm.
do
Very
what's in
true.
your mind. Don't let anything stop you that I'm not good enough. This isn't good enough. No, 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 no. Like, don't let any of that
Mm-hmm.
creep in. Because I know, like, different people, actors, writers, anybody could feel insecure at times about their abilities. It's
Yep.
important to not let that get in the way.
Yeah. I mean, I know so many writers who have written short films, put it on a back burner. Okay.
Yeah.
It's sitting around for 3, 5 years. All of a sudden they go back and start reading it. Oh, wow. You know, it hits them different, you
Yes.
know?
Yes. Sometimes things stew. They stew a little bit. They
Mm-hmm.
get
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, it's funny, like we were just saying, there was something that is going to be filmed hopefully this coming year, but it won awards in 2018. 2018, it was a feature written, and now he's going to be filming it probably, I think, next year. But it took that long, and he's sitting on it that long because you
Hmm.
just, I this is a writer, you feel like it's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotta let
Right.
it marinate for a little bit.
Exactly. Marinate. Great word. Marinate. Yep. Exactly.
100%.
But
That's
it's a
true.
process.
Mhm.
Everything's a process. Everything is a journey, and the journey looks different for everybody.
Mhm.
Nothing can compare. One might, the timeline might be so different from one person to the next. It's important not to compare yourself to anybody because one journey isn't going to look like the other person's journey. And that could also trip us up too, you know?
Yes.
So it's very individualized.
That should be a quote from
Oh,
you.
oh,
Yes, I agree.
uh,
Yes, 100% a quote. And it's very true. We have to surround ourselves people who support us.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Or
Be
at least recognize um, people who are not supportive and maybe causing more damage to
mm-hmm.
our
Amen.
self-confidence, and to at least move away from that.
Mhm.
And I think getting involved in whatever local film community one might be around according to where they live is important, to just getting to know people, just
Yeah.
getting to meet people. um But yes, identifying if someone or something is harming you from moving forward in some way, at least recognizing that. And I think that's a journey too, journey in our life. As you move from one thing to the next, people change,
Yeah.
locations change. There's changes in our lives and shifts in our lives. And that's part of the journey too now. And that's why it's just, we're all wired different and it's going to look different for everyone. And no matter what you pursue, whether it's arts or not, everyone's journey is still different. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
what it is, you know? Um, and there's no right or there's no wrong. It's whatever is right for you is supposed to be for you. You know, whatever journey you feel to take is the right journey for you.
I do have a question for you for those who are going to be listening.
Yeah.
You know, so many of us as an actor are always in hot pursuit to land an agent, a manager. What was your process like for those who are going to be listening? And just give them a little synopsis of, what it took, um,
Yeah,
and go from there.
sure. I don't have a manager. I do have an agent in the Southeast. I simply applied to the agency as at that time. Nowadays, there may not be a lot of open submissions online, but for my agent, there was. So I applied and there was an interest. I had applied to different agencies and I was rejected. Rejection happens to everyone. It's important. Side note, do not take anything personally. Do not have it stop you. There could be people in the agency. There could be a lot of people who look like you. There could be that they're not just taking any more new people. There could be different times that just aren't good times for the agency to be.
Hmm.
You might not be a fit, but that doesn't mean you're not a fit somewhere else. So please, if you're rejected by one agent, because I've been there, don't let anything stop. But I found an agent that was right for me at the time. I applied and the right one was interested in me. And now I do have other agents. Now that kind of happened. The first other agent outside of the Southeast, which is where I live. So that was very important for me to want to try to find one there. But I have to say, I keep having uh, sub notes. I do self submit quite a lot. I don't wait for my agent and sit and wait. I am a self submitter. So a lot of the different projects that I have been involved with who that were so dear to me, I got on film sites and I got on my own. So I still do that. So that's important to still do that, whether you have an agent right now or not, or your agent may be keeping you so busy that you might not feel the need to do that. But I do self submit a lot. Now, one of the times I self submitted was on a platform called Backstage, and I got one job, and that's how I got my agent in Pittsburgh. So it was through him on Backstage. So booking that job introduced me to him.
Mhm.
And then I became a part of their agency. Now, I was born and raised in Pittsburgh. That means I can work as a local. And I
Yes.
would say anywhere you have family and can work as a local is another place for you to look for an agent. Because if you could work as a local to another city, that opens up doors for other possibilities and places to work.
Hmm.
So Pittsburgh was a place I could work as a local, and New York is, but I don't have an agent there. All the work I've done has been on my own. I self-submit for things, and I've worked in New York a few times, but I don't have an agent yet. Um, but so I have the agent in Pittsburgh, and then I was on a job with a friend, and we were doing a feature film here in North Carolina, and he lives in, I believe it's Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. And he had an agent in Utah. And then he told me about her because there was a lot filming out west. So I submitted to her and she happened to take me.
That's
So
awesome.
so then I had that. So, and then I saw a couple people post about a European agency. And so I submitted to that. But I want to say this, I've been rejected a lot of times from a lot of different agents. And so when I say that has not been always smooth sailing for me, I just know you have to pick yourself back up. And you have to say that one was not for me. And you have to move on. You have to keep going. And it's very important to realize that just like not booking every job you might audition for, there are underlying reasons it might not be a fit for any particular agency. Because again, that's another way we can experience rejection. And I wouldn't want anyone to get stuck there either. But it's part of the journey. And that's how I picked up some of my agents. I self-submit to different agencies. So I have eyes looking for me in all different places. And again, I would say, as I said before, if you could work local to Texas, get an agent there, because that means you don't have housing, you don't have to worry about a hotel, and you can explore other acting jobs in that area. If you could work as a local to Florida, which I do have a mother-in-law who lives in South Florida. There are times I have actually applied for jobs in Florida because I could go there and not have the expense of a hotel. So that's just something to think about. It evolves for me. I like to work different places and meet different people and expand my horizons. So
Very good.
according to everyone's comfort level, you can submit in different places and experience a bunch of different things and meet a lot of different people. But when you're ready, and if that clicks with someone, then they might be interested in doing that too.
Backstage is one of my favorite sites, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Backstage, Actors Access, Casting Networks. Those are the three. I was thinking in my head, I used to have 800 Casting. I still technically have that, but haven't been finding as much on that recently. But I do have the four of them.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And I agree with you to try to get as many agents as you can to help you.
Yeah. And then, if you find yourself super busy in one area with an agent, you may not feel the need to do that. So, again, if someone is really, really active or they have a season of busyness, you're not going to feel the need to do that. That's what I chose to do. But that, again, might not fit everybody's life. So.
Very true.
Very
Very
true. Thank you. What is your upcoming projects do you have?
Yeah, so I do have some things coming up. I have in December, I have a feature film called 267 shooting in Atlanta. I'll be a week there. And then I have another SAG New Media feature called The Crossing. And we don't have a date for that. That is spring. That is set for spring. I've been booked on that, but I just don't have exact dates. I believe it might be sometime in March, but I'm only needed about a day or two on that. So there's definitely more time for other things. The script I mentioned that won awards that they're doing in June, the short that won awards, I'll be 2 weeks in Virginia. So yeah, I'll be traveling there for that. And yeah, so those are three off the top of my head. There are other things that I've been booked on that don't have dates yet for. There's a short film called Warrior, and there is last year we shot most of The Haunting of Helen's Bridge. That's going to be a feature film, and there were a couple scenes left where we have to get those scenes shot, and then the film will be done. So that is in progress. So so there are things coming up. My next one is the film called 267 in Atlanta.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's
Congratulations.
awesome. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that, and we can't wait for those to come out.
Thank you. Oh, and I forgot about one more thing. I did my first vertical film for the Real Short app. That is a new thing. At least it's new to me. There's a lot of vertical films out on acting sites now. And at first, I didn't know too much about it, but I booked one in New York. And last month, I spent 10 days there. So on October 23rd, it's coming out on the Real Short app, My Stolen Billionaire Life. So that's
Okay.
that's
Okay.
coming out.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. But thank you for sharing that. And my next question is, what do you do for fun when you're
Yeah.
not acting? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people may be wondering, what does
Okay.
Rachel do for fun?
So there's a couple things. First, I'm very involved with my local animal shelter. So once a week or twice, I'll go and walk the dogs and spend time with them and take pictures and try to get them adopted. So I have guess you could say, a heart for wanting to see animals find a home that don't have a home and are sitting in a shelter. So that I do spend time doing when I can. The other thing is my husband is a travel agent part-time and we travel a lot. So we do a lot of traveling. Um, and now with having mileage points that you can earn on credit cards for hotel and air, you don't spend as much. You can get free nights, you can get free travel. There's all different ways now you can earn, you know, to there's all different ways to go away without spending a ton of money, but we do a lot of traveling because his passion, I could say one of his passions is travel. He loves to travel. So therefore I travel a lot too.
That's amazing that you work at the animal shelter, and I'm a big animal lover too. So that's really
Yeah.
exciting that you're doing
They
that.
get my heart. They really do. Sometimes I just come home and now our pet passed away December uh 7th, I believe. And my husband hasn't wanted to get another pet, and I get it. Sometimes it takes people time, but every day I come home, I'm like, there's this dog, and then there's this one, and I'm like, every time I can, like, one day he'll say yes.
One day you get it you'll get a yes for him.
Yeah. Until now, I call them my grandkids. I have my one daughter has a dog and she brings her over a lot. So she's like my grand dog, I call her my grand dog. And then my other daughter has two dogs and a cat. So I have four grandkids, although they're furry animals, but I call them my grand.
There you go.
There you
Yeah,
Wow.
I have three dogs. I have an American Bully, a
go.
Doberman, and a Staffordshire. So they are all brothers. And
Oh,
when we go out of town, they all stay in the same kennel. And
oh,
um, and so yeah, and they're all boys.
yeah,
I so it's been very interesting watching their connection with each other because most animals run in packs.
yeah,
And these, even though they're different breeds, they're just like having three sons.
yeah,
They get on each
definitely.
other's
They're like,
nerves and they talk back to each other. They are wrestling in the living room. I mean,
yeah.
so it's awesome.
Dogs are special. They are special
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
That is true. They're 100% special, and that's the one thing I love about animals.
Uh, yeah, all the girls actually, I said they're pits, but Staffordshire Terriers, Staffies, or what they are,
Yeah.
the brother and sister, the one are brother and sister, actual brother and sister, and they each got one. And then And then, yeah, the other daughter got another dog and cat, and that dog is also a pit. And then there's this cat. There's a cat who lives with the two dogs, and he is hysterical. He's hysterical because he just comes in and out and like teases the one trying to get him to chase him, and it's just funny watching them.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. The cat is the one who runs that household.
Yeah, no fear. The cat has no fear at all.
That's what I hear.
Amazing.
The cats run everything. They're the one they're in charge.
Funny.
That's 100% true. You know, yeah, cats, they get mad, they get mad. They just don't.
Oh, yeah. A couple head slaps, and that dog will recognize it's time to back off.
Yeah. It's like, yep, you're in charge. I got it. Well, Rachel, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. It took a while to work out our schedules. I'm glad we did.
Yes, Rachel, it did take a while, but I appreciate you working with me with our with the schedules and everything.
Of course. Thank you so much.
You're
Pleasure
very
meeting both of
welcome,
you.
and we can't wait to have you back.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you
Uh,
so much. Before I
thank
let you
you.
go, question is, where can people find you?
Okay, my Instagram, but the Instagram handle is at Rachel Petsiavas. Now, there are fake accounts. I post them all the time on my stories.
Oh
So
my God.
at Rachel Petsiavas, I have a blue check. So yeah. So look for the blue check. And Facebook, again, I have a blue check. So look for that. My name, it's no other name, no stage name. It's just the same name I use. So
And before I say goodbye, I would like to ask you, what is your message to the world when it comes to just being an actor and being in pursuit of a dream?
do not give up. Do not. When you feel like giving up, we all do. Keep going. Even if you take a baby step that day and you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm just going to move forward an inch, then move forward an inch, but don't give up. Just keep moving forward. Know that your time is coming. Good days are coming. There's good and bad days. Don't quit on a bad day. Do not. Just know that there's a plan for you and you have desires that are given to you for a reason. And
Mhm.
what you want to do because it's given to you, I believe, and just keep pursuing it. Nothing comes easy. Some people might have it easier than others, but that's just what we see. We don't see actually everything that goes on. So
Yes,
just
ma'am.
know that
Amen.
keep keep going, keep pressing forward, and believe that good days are coming.
That
That's
is
awesome.
so powerful. Thank
Uh,
you for sharing that. Before Daryl and I in our show, we want to say that is the most powerful message. It's a powerful testimony that for myself, I can say
oh,
that I never stopped. I never kept fighting. I never stopped fighting. And and this is my own personal story. I've never been an actor, but I always been a talk show host. And
awesome.
I always told myself, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I'm gonna quit this show. Before I merged with my co-host Daryl, thanks to him
Oh,
again. But I've many times I thought about quitting, many times, right?
yeah.
And what you said, Rachel, was very powerful. It's the powerful message. I've heard that from one else who told me that, and it's good that you said that because it actually made my hair stick up when you said that because it's powerful. We don't give up. Just keep fighting and look forward, like you said, because
Yeah.
you never know what's gonna happen. And I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm glad I didn't end
Yes,
my show because I would never have met Daryl. And this would have never happened.
exactly.
And I so it's amazing the community support that you surprisingly you find out that you hear the community support, and
Yeah.
that's the love, the passion from every actor, director, producer, models, singers in this entertainment industry that we all come together and we support each other. And that is the
Yeah.
one thing that tells me the testimony that, like you said, Rachel, it's the keep going forward, keep that passion, don't let anybody stop you. But I
Yeah.
think the reason that we're not stopping is because what your message was, but also it comes down to us, the community, as in the entertainment, we support each other, and it doesn't matter where
Yeah.
we're living. That's the one
Yeah.
powerful message that you said. So thank you very much for saying that, Rachel. And that was a very good
Well,
question that Daryl asked.
oh,
Well, I just think that, God's timing is always on time.
yeah.
And if you never keep your feet moving forward, as Rachel said, how do you know what's waiting for you in the future?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but so many people do stop and they never know the outcome of what could really
Nope.
have happened in
Yeah.
their life. And
And
so
that if people
that's
want to know the
that's what it's
test,
about.
right? If people want to know the testimony, they can ask me because I was about to quit and I
Oh,
didn't. And here I am, and I met Daryl.
look at that.
So
Yeah.
it's I'm speaking the truth, and it's a powerful testimony that Daryl
Yeah.
said that you never know what's going to happen. You never know what the
Yeah.
people that you're going to meet in the
Yeah.
entertainment industry, and I think that's a very powerful testimony. And it's the empowerment, encourage, passion, the people we
Yeah.
meet, right?
Yeah.
And we hope that ourself we would that when people are looking this show up on YouTube or wherever,
Yeah.
they will watch this interview and hear your story, Rachel, that message you said, and our
Yes.
message, they will pause for a minute in their life and says, you know what? Let me look for an audition right now on internet. You never
Yeah.
know, and I think
Yeah.
we are going to change people, and we are doing it. And you look at A-list actors, they've done this, they've done their journeys, but they're all similar story that you said. Don't give
Yeah.
up, keep the passion, and keep going. So
Yeah.
Yes.
thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I wanted to say one more thing that just hit me, that if someone is out there and they did stop, don't get down. You can start again. Just pick
That
it back.
that is 100% truth, Rachel. That is 100%. Yeah,
So,
Yes.
anybody can start again.
yeah.
And
Wow, Rachel, my
I,
hair's sticking up. You said
Ah,
so many powerful messages. I'm
ah,
serious. You really did. Your previous message proved my point.
oh,
Encouraged me and says, you know what, like I said, I was about to quit my show, and then here I am. I'm still
that's
going
amazing.
because
I'm
your
so glad
message.
that you did.
And I'm glad I didn't. And you're still, and you're the testimony to keep that passion, keep it going. So
Yeah.
we're so excited that we had you on, and we're so
Oh,
happy.
thank you. Thank you again.
You're very welcome. Daryl, do you have anything else?
no, I feel very fortunate to have this chance to have this conversation with you and for everyone to
Thank
get to
you.
know you. And I know that you are going to do amazing things in your career. And
Thank you.
it's obvious that you speak with conviction, okay,
Thank
because
you.
you've either done it, been there, or on the way. And that's why you're here. And there's great things that's in store for you.
Oh, thank you very much. It was so nice to meet both of you.
So
Thank you
we
very
appreciate
much,
you coming
and
on.
um, we look
And
forward to having you back on again sometime.
okay. Absolutely.
All right,
Thank you.
Rachel, thank you so much for
Bye.
coming on, and
Okay.
we will talk to you soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Rachel,
Thank
and
you.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
staying up late. I again on my part,
Absolutely.
I apologize on the time.
No worries. Okay.
Thank you
Bye.
again. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.